Hi, my name is Arthur Reed, and I'm taking a break from videotaping a very long segment dealing with taxes. And so before I left, I wanted to talk a little bit about the annual filing season program because I was talking about some of the segments that we were covering within that review course, and I want to share those with you before I leave. Basically, the annual filing season program is a voluntary program that the service put in place. To be honest with you, they tried to regulate this area years ago, but were not successful with the things we called a registered tax return preparer. And so they came in with this voluntary program because they wanted practitioners who wanted to distinguish themselves from others to be able to get this designation and hold themselves out as someone who's completed the program and should be recognized through a record of completion. So apart from attorneys, CPAs, and enrolled agents, this is the special area that we have for these participants, which hopefully will be you because you're listening to this video at this time. And so part of the course as we begin looking at it is that your ability to promote this to your clients is like real important. You can say, look, I took the course, I passed the exam, I demonstrated that I have the competency, and I'm required to abide by the rules in Circular 230, which governs all practitioners. And that's like a huge step to be able to take, as opposed to, I just prepare tax returns. So it's a method to distinguish yourself to your clients. You can also distinguish yourself with your associates. I remember when I was working in the earlier years, one of the things was important was credentials. I want to work with somebody. Well, what do you know about taxes? I'm an annual filing season participant. I went through, passed the test, and I've been doing this for the last couple of years. And so it's like, awesome, when can you start? So it gives you that instant credibility to distinguish yourself amongst others. It also provides you with limited representation rights, which means that if your client gets audited and you prepare that return, you can represent them in front of the IRS examination. That's real important to be able to sit beside a client and work through issues with the Internal Revenue Service. And there's also IRS Recognition, which means that you get to be put in a public database. I'm going to go to that public database, which is part of the RPO office, so it's very easy to locate if you want to check. It's under the irstreasury.gov. You can see it up in that open window. But this is the Directory of Return Preparers. And just to give you some idea that if you put in like a city that you're interested in, and I'm going to use the city of Boston because it's a pretty big area, and that's basically where I'm from, just south of it. And I wanted to see the number of people that can prepare tax returns. I could click on any of these and get a listing of all of those. But if I wanted to get a listing of the annual filing season participants down below, I could do a search. And what I'm going to show you is that you are going to appear with a great number of people who have also demonstrated their ability to pass this course. And you'll notice that this filing season participant record of completion is also for folks that are enrolled agents. Here's a person here who has completed the enrolled agent. And you can just see the list that these folks have all basically made that completion. And here's a CPA that just loves taking tests. So he's not only a CPA, but he also got this certificate as well. And so it puts you into this list where people that are looking for accountants, put it within your own city or town, identify how many people are local that could be qualified within this, and this is a nice way to market yourself as you go forward. So I'm pretty excited about this in the database. It's always fun to see your name in lights in that regard. The limited representation issue, I think, is an important one because the participants within this program can qualify to represent their clients before an exam, before any customer service representatives, which is really sometimes almost more important. You can work with the Taxpayer Advocate Service or represent between similar IRS employees. Folks, even though I'm a CPA and I have unlimited representation rights, 80% of my time is spent right here. These are the things that I do on a routine basis. I don't go out and go to appeals and other things. We cannot go through, for example, with limited representation and execute closing agreements. So when we get to the end of an audit and the IRS has the final proposal, I can actually sign it on behalf of the client. You can't, as an ASFP, person do it, but if the client's right there, they can sign it. It's not a big deal. Okay, we have extend the statute of limitations. Okay, the client has to do that. That's easy. Execute waivers, the client does that. Or sign any documents on behalf of the taxpayer. Let the taxpayer sign them. The things that you can't do are just some of the final pieces. You also can't go to appeals, but you can work along with the attorney or the CPA or the enrolled agent that's going to appeals. And so there's all kinds of opportunities because you've demonstrated your proficiency in the area of taxation. And doing that will then allow you to work in avenues that you probably have not even considered working in before. You can find all the requirements for the annual filing season participants at publication 5227 and also on the IRS websites. The requirements are quite simple. Possess an active PTIN number, which you probably already do. You have to complete continuing education courses. You have basically 2 hours of ethics, 10 hours of federal tax law, but you then have 2 different paths to actually get the final piece of it done. You can take our 6-hour AFTR course, which is available, which has a test at the end of it. Or if you represent what's called an exempt preparer, you can take a 3-hour federal tax update, which is what I just finished doing, and you can go through and take that course and take a shorter exam afterwards because you've already demonstrated that you are proficient in other ways. These exempt, I wish they didn't use the word exempt because it sounds like we're exempting you from this, which is really what you're doing, but why are we doing it? Is that if you are someone who's already passed the first part of the special enrollment exam, which is the EA exam, you're exempt and you can take the shorter 3-hour exam course rather than the 6-hour course. If you were a registered tax return preparer, you can take the shortened version as well. If you did the VITA program, which we do at the university, and take the VITA test, which is a killer test, by the way, and take the VITA test, that also allows you to go the exempt route by taking just a 3-hour update, or you pass some of the special exams like in California, Oregon, and Maryland. Those are all components that you have. Then finally, you just have to agree to the duties and restrictions in Subpart B of Circular 230 and Section 1051. You read through that, you sign off on it. There's easy things to look at in terms of how to complete that part of it. But we cover those things in the AFTR course so you understand some of the rules that we have there. Next steps, okay? If you're interested in this program, what we want you to do is go to the IRS websites for tax professionals. Read the material about the annual filing season participants and what that record completion is. I'm not going to go to that site, but this is the website. If you need to jot it down, you can freeze the tape and it's not a tape, but the video, and freeze this to get it. But you can do a search on it and it'll pop right up in your window about the different things that are required. Watch, there's a 3-minute video on that site as well in terms of next steps, and that's kind of cool to look at. And then sign up for a course. We'd love to have you. I'd love to be your instructor as we go through either the 6-hour or the 3-hour course necessary for you to get that part of it. Plus we have continuing education courses as well, and I try to find real exciting topics as we go through. And as you continue on in your professional life, be successful in the things that you do, and let us know how things are going. So I hope to hear from you, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.